Oh, cheap almighty. Not the point. Sup, Chucklefucks, it's your boy Dark Raccoon here with What If Issei was the grandson of Yhwach? Cheap almighty, not the point. Pretty much, yes, this is part 3 of this What If. Not the point. Let me begin into this What If. Let me shut the fuck up. I probably only have like 12 minutes. I do not care. I'm gonna try to at least kind of be able to just shove this part in. Probably, maybe not. So let me try. If I can't, then I won't upload. If I do upload it, then you will see this part. If you don't, then I didn't upload it. So yeah. But let me just begin into this What If. Let me shut the fuck up. But we go into mostly your boy, no, I'm just kidding. Let me just begin. God, I'm just rambling on right now. But we go into mostly Loki versus Issei. Now, Loki and Issei are right now kind of fighting. Well, Loki's already injured from the fact that, well, from mostly not Jogram, or mostly it was from Bizel, and also wait, let me remember. So from Quilch is just, well, mostly, yeah, Bizel and also Quilch. So of course mostly Issei is fighting against, well, Loki. Now Loki is having such a struggle as time because every attack he managed to hit Issei, it never lands. Literally, it never ever managed to land or even like managed to even hurt him at all. But of course, with the attack never be able to even hit Issei, mostly Loki is having such a struggle as time. Now we go into what's called Hattie versus Bezel. Now with Hattie, he is already dead. Literally, Bezel B kind of, well, shot like a couple of times of a burning finger straight towards what's called Hattie's head, and they just burned him. Yeah, it killed him. Now, of course, with Quill and also mostly Scully just couldn't even touch, what's it called, Quill, because Quill managed to bring chains from nowhere. Mostly that's, he just managed to kind of, well, use this like Ryotsu to make chains, to like chain up, well, Scully in an instant, then pulls out his sword, and his sword right now turns into a bluish kind of sword, and just stab it into, well, Scully's head. But yeah, it wasn't that hard, but yeah. Now, there's also, well, mostly Jogram, who's actually fighting against, well, the Sea Serpent. The Sea Serpent wasn't much of a problem. Actually, it was the weakest thing that he ever had to fight in his whole existence. But pretty much the Sea Serpent like tried to attack, well, Jogram, and Jogram just pulled out his sword and just slices through the middle, right now destroying the whole Sea Serpent in an instant, just exploding it out of basically water. That's where, well, Jogram knows about the world Sea Serpent entirely. Mostly anyone would know about it, but he just doesn't care from the fact if it's either fake or real, because he will kill it anyway for its lord's, well, wishes. But yeah, now we go back into, well, a Loki who's really fucking injured. That motherfucker is almost close to death. Now we go into, well, Issei kind of trying to land straight towards where Loki's at. But before Loki can actually keep like fighting and actually going on, mostly someone appeared next to him. Mostly someone just whispers with such a cold voice, saying, "So you must be the northern god of trickery, Loki." This is where, well, mostly Loki say, this is where before he can even say anything, ice spikes right now shot up and right now stab his arms. This is where it made Loki scream in pain, but before an ice kind of like mask appear over his mouth right now, covering it up and making sure that Loki can't scream. Now, of course, Issei did hear this. Of course, he's not an idiot, which is confusing, and why Loki is screaming, because he's already hurt bad enough. Unless Loki, well, not Loki, Issei managed to hurt him in his family jewels, which he never aimed for that at all. Which, that's the only thing that mostly Loki should be screaming about, because, well, Issei never really aimed for that, but whatever. Okay, I had it to blow out my nose, but not the point. So, mostly, Issei is actually going straight towards, well, Loki's direction, until he actually, well, is looking around and trying to find where Loki even went. But this is where, well, mostly Loki is right now terrified. We go into Loki's POV, because mostly the person he sees is someone that he never, well, not never, that he only seen her a couple of times, And of course, she's like a battle freak maniac somewhat in, what's it called, somewhat the northern part of the area. She usually goes against some bunch of tribes, not just the northern part of area. The mythology usually is either Greek or others. She's a kind of battle assess maniac who kind of also has a battle assess maniac kind of leader. Now, that leader is also right next to, well, this girl, because, well, the girl has kind of bluish long hair that reaches all the way down to her curvaceous kind of assets. This is where, well, she also has kind of like these icy blue eyes, which, yeah, she also kind of wears like this general kind of like whitish outfit, of course with a whitish hat. This is where next to her is actually a white hair girl with goldish eyes. Yes, it's none other than the White Empress. Now, this is where, well, Loki is terrified from the fact that the White Empress is right now next to him, and of course he can't do anything. Yeah, I don't know why I'm fucking up on my words. Of course he can't do anything, and from the fact that, well, he's already extremely hurt from mostly the Quincy Brat, or Prince of Light, or whatever the hell his name is. This is where, well, mostly Loki is trying to get away from them, but he can't because someone else appeared behind him right now, stepping on his back, making sure that he doesn't escape. This is where, well, Loki feels like he's an insect right now above these three kind of females: the White Dragon Empress, the bluish hair girl's named Estef, and the last one is a girl that, well, usually he does not want to mess with half the time, because she's actually called the Queen of Despair because of the fact that she gets stronger from mostly despair most of the time. And yeah, now of course the Queen of Despair basically looks like a girl with blondish hair and kind of like palish blue eyes. She also, her name is Junko Nishima, but yeah, this is where, well, mostly Loki is kind of scared, wondering what the hell they even want from him. This is where, well, mostly the whitish hair girl named Valerie kind of says, "So Loki, I'm here for Finro. You know, I'll let you off the hook if you give me Finro." This is where, well, Loki says, I would? This is where, well, Loki thinks in his head, I would never give you Finro, but even if I wanted to, how am I gonna give you Finro when he's already dead? Well, mostly he doesn't know about the person named Jogram, but Jogram literally already killed him. This is where, well, mostly, while they are kind of looking at, well, what's it called? Or, well, it's not a blondish hair girl, no. The girl behind Loki is a girl with kind of purplish hair. Of course, this is where, well, she kind of has like brightish starry eyes that are kind of white, but with purple inside her kind of pupils. Mostly, the pupil is kind of like a star, a white star, with around it, mostly around the eye is kind of purplish, and then around that eye is just white, but not the point. This is where, well, her name is, well, mostly, well, her name is Anko Kasei, and this is where, well, mostly, if you can remember right, it's not the Queen of Despair, but mostly the Queen of Stars, and the fact that she can kind of control, well, somewhat the stars from mostly the sky. Like, she can summon out stars and other stuff. This is where, well, mostly Loki is terrified, and right now trying to plead with them, not them kill him at all. Now, this is where, well, mostly, right now, mostly Valerie managed to kind of destroy the ice mask that was covering up Loki's mouth, and he then says, "So, tell me, where is Finro?" This is where, well, mostly Loki says, "Good question. They're dead." This is where, well, mostly Valerie is confused and says, "Don't lie to me, Loki. I know you like doing mostly just manipulating and tricking other people, but I'm not stupid." This is where, well, mostly Loki wanted to say something until he felt like his body was being dragged. This is where, well, mostly the girl with kind of bluish hair felt like she was getting pushed away, which she did get pushed away. She just fall down to the ground a little bit and was confused until, or well, not really fall down from the ground. Mostly she felt like she moved her leg on purpose, which it was confusing. Well, not on purpose, on accident, or whatever the hell it was. This is where, well, Loki felt like he was being pulled up, which he was. He literally got pulled up in an instant. Of course, blood kind of splattered to the ground because his hands were literally stuck to the ground because of ice sickles, or mostly ice spikes. This is where, well, Loki was screaming in pain, and this is where, well, someone grabbed him from the head. Now, this is where, well, the person had mostly dark-shaped glasses, having bluish eyes underneath dark-shaped glasses, having whitish, silverish, brownish hair at the same time, but this is where, well, mostly brownish highlights, but not the point. This is where, well, he also had kind of a palish, well, not palish, a tannish and palish skin, but not the point. This is where, well, he also kind of wears this like very fancy white uniform. This is where, well, the person also had a sword right next to him. This is where, well, The person says, well, it seems that you managed to take care of, well, Loki for me, even though I didn't really want you to break his arms because I wanted to do that. Other than that, I'll be taking him now. This is where, well, mostly the person said. This is where, well, mostly the person says, other than that, White Dragon Empress, we should be seeing once you see each other, probably in the full blue moon, whatever. This is where, well, mostly Issei gets up and starts walking away. Yes, Issei was literally seeing this whole situation, and yet he didn't care. Yes, fucking Finrar's dead. What is it going to be any problem towards the Chaos Brigade? He doesn't care. This is where, well, mostly they were confused. This is where Valerie already noticed who it was, and she was shocked to believe that Issei looked like he'd grown in just a couple of, like, 1 month from the last time she saw him. This is where, well, mostly Issei was actually about to leave, until mostly Valerie appears behind him and saying, what? I thought you were going to fight me. This is where, well, Issei says, well, there is a possible chance that we have to fight in the near future, since I am alliance back with the alliance of the devils, fallen angels, and angels. But not the point. Besides, all I care about right now is dealing with this, well, how should I say, this pathetic, idiotic god right here, called the god of idiotic gods. I don't know what his name again was. Loki just kind of wanted to say something, but this is where, well, even if he took a glance towards Issei, Issei's one of his eyes does glance at him with a murderous intent. Say anything, you die in an instant. This is where, well, mostly Loki shuts up, but yeah, finally, well, for the one time he shuts up, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly Issei say, other than that, I should be going then. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, no, wait. This is where, well, we'll see Valerie wanted to ask Issei about something. This is where Issei turns around and says, what do you want? Valerie says, tell me, where the hell is Finrar at? He says, Loki said that he's dead. Issei grins and said with a very malicious grin, saying, oh, that's because he is dead. You see here, one of my, how should I say, officers managed to destroy, what's it called, Loki's animals. You see here, Scully, well, mostly Scully, Hattie, and even Finrar are dead. Even some of the fake sea serpent, war serpent, whatever the hell it was called. This is where, well, mostly he says, they are all dead. They're all very dead. They're all 6 feet under the ground. This is where, well, mostly right now, Valerie is just shocked to believe that. This is where, well, she refused to believe it because it was supposed to be a part of the Chaos Brigade to kind of retrieve, well, mostly Finrar. This is where, well, she says, no, that can't be. I refuse to believe your words, Red One. Issei said, wait. Doesn't it make more sense to not call me Red One, but instead of Silver White One? This is where, well, mostly Valerie just kind of scoffed at him and just says, yeah, right, I would rather call you fucking Red One, because that's basically your sacred gear. This is where Issei says, is that really my sacred gear? I never noticed. This is where, well, Valerie says, are you just going to be playing and acting dumb for now? Issei says, no, I'm not really acting dumb, or, well, mostly, how should I say, playing, because I'm no longer the Red One. Instead, this is where, well, Issei summons out his sacred gear, his mostly boosted gear. The boosted gear didn't actually become silver and white, no, it's mostly like a tealish, kind of greenish color. It also kind of has a kind of bluish, kind of like, mostly bluish tint, but this is where, well, the gem itself, it's green, but mostly it's like a, not green, it's like a silverish green kind of pattern of the, mostly, symbol of the, mostly, the sternrent, or whatever the hell it's called, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly, Issei says, you see here, Valerie, I shouldn't be called the Red One, I should be called the Green One. This is where, well, mostly Issei had a very evilish smile on his face. This is where Valerie wiped her eyes and says, what the? What happened to your sacred gear? Where's the Red One? This is where, well, mostly Albion appears behind Valerie and says, what happened to you, Diedrich? This is where Diedrich says, huh? Oh, you see here, I got some upgrades, better upgrades than ever, White One. You see here, even though I don't like my color being changed, I don't mind too much, but of course, you can call me, well, a part of the Quincy race now, cause, well, guess what the Quincy did to me, or mostly did for me. This is where, well, Albion says, and what is that? This is where, well, Albion had a very evilish grin on his face. They removed the limiters of God. This is where, well, mostly, when Diedrich mentioned those words, Albion just fucking pales at what Diedrich said. No, you can't. Diedrich, how? This is where, well, mostly Diedrich says, didn't I just explain to you? The Quincy's removed the limiters from mostly God. Mostly one of them was quite smart and they managed to remove it. But not the point. Isn't it great, Albion? I have no limiters. I can come out of the sacred gear and then beat your ass and then make sure you stay 6 feet under the ground. This is where mostly Albion says, you have no shame? This is where mostly Yhwach says, I have shame, okay, asshole? Guess what? At least I'm not being called the Opie Dragon. You see here, I fucking hate whoever called me the Opie Dragon. My host is no longer in love with any Opie or none of that. He is not a pervert. He is normal. He is also considered to be the prince of the Quincy's, but not the point. Also, I should mention one thing. I might have changed my colors, but fuck you. I have no limiters from God. God can go fuck off. This is what Yhwach said. Of course he's crying because yes, his color had to be changed. Not on was it called entirely purpose. It was an accident because Issei's Ryotsu Ryotsu is a little bit different from normal Quincy's. Instead of being a bluish tint of color, it's actually like a silverish kind of tint of greenish color, but yeah, and having some blue, but not the point. This is where it was the reason why it kind of changed. This is where mostly Yhwach says, do you not know that I basically have your stupid silver fucking color? Well, I mean, it's silver, not white, which I'm happy because I'd rather not have your stupid white color on me. You stupid son of a bitch. This is where mostly Albion scoffs and says, you know, Yhwach, you would have looked, fuck you, Albion, fuck off. Go fuck yourself. This is where mostly Albion just scoffs and just says, fine. God, I just wanted to help you. This is where mostly Yhwach says, but whatever. Besides, I wonder who would be the top winner. Would it be my host who can actually be able to hold 6 powers of quite the most powerful things I ever fucking heard in my fucking life? Or could it be yours, who is actually considered to be the princess of hell at the same time, probably the princess of darkness? This is where mostly say the fuck? Princess of darkness? This is where mostly Valerie says, I'm not the princess of darkness, I'm the princess of hell. This is where mostly Yhwach says, yeah, I know that. Mostly, I just wanted to know if you're considered to be that. But then again, no, you're not. You're just considered to be the Prince of Hell. Well, whatever. So who is stronger, do you think, Albion? The Prince of Light or the Princess of Hell? This is where, mostly Albion says, still, it's going to be Valerie. This is where, mostly Yhwach says, it's going to be my host. This is where, mostly Albion and both Yhwach just rambling on, just like keeps just going at each other's throats. This is where mostly both Valerie and Issei say, shut up! Both of them just said it at the same time, right now making Yhwach and Albion shut the fuck up after a while. This is where Issei says, God, you're more annoying than ever. This is where Issei counsel off the Yhwach, mostly turn off the sacred gear, while mostly Valerie did the same. This is where mostly Issei and even Valerie are just sweat dropping from mostly all of the dragons ranting and other shit. Issei says, okay, let's just never mention this about this again. Valerie says, agree. This is where mostly Issei says, but if you want to really find some information if Finro's dead, I can give you the head of Finro. This is where mostly an eye. But whatever. This is where Issei right now grabs something from a different dimension, which it was mostly the place of the party. He grabs Finro's head that was on the floor, pulls it out, and this is where he then throws it straight to Valerie. Valerie won her eye seeing Finro's head. This is where she says, how? Who did this? What the? Those are the other two kind of just looks at this with just whining eyes. Who managed to kill the god killer Finro? This is where mostly Issei says, oh, that is quite easy. And who managed to kill the god killer Finro? You see here, it was one of my mostly my father's, well, not father's, it's mostly my grandfather's bodyguard, but it's now my bodyguard, because since I'm considered to be the Prince of Light, the Quincy race need to protect me, since I am basically the son of all Quincy's. Well, not really the son of all Quincy's, but that's just something that mostly my father, well, mostly my grandfather calls all Quincy's that he has, or mostly that are basically the ruler of, mostly he's the ruler over them. He's basically calls them all sons, or mostly his children, but really they're not. And this is where, well, Issei just goes on ranting, and this is where Issei says, other than that, similar to that of God's Boker, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Valerie was kind of lost and say, huh? This is where Issei says, never mind, I don't know how to explain this. This is where Valerie says, is it similar to that of like Lucifer? Kinda. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, other than that, so let me understand this real quick, Issei. This is where Issei says, what do you want? So you're telling me that your race, is called Quincy. Yes. Well, not entirely a full-blooded Quincy, but I'm also half version of, well, a hollow, which is impossible to have when you're a Quincy, because Quincies are kind of, they become poison from hollows, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, okay, so you're half Quincy, half hollow, half human? Well, about that, the Quincy is kind of human. It's just genetics kind of evolved from human to Quincy, and then, yeah, you get the point, right? This is where, well, Valerie's such lost with this whole bullcrap. I see. So, they're like exorcists. Not entirely, I mean, the Quincy's did come from mostly the soaking, and this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of tried to explain, but he's fucking it up. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, okay, so they're not exorcists. They came from something called a soaking. So the soaking is your what? What is he to you? My, well, great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather? This is where Valerie says, okay. And how strong is he? Beyond, mostly beyond, Great Red and Orphis? Okay, where is he? I'm not telling you because I don't actually know myself. Huh, okay. So your grandfather. How strong is he from Great Red? Well, mostly not Great Red. Mostly she already knows about that, but mostly she's just trying to find more information. Just where, well, pretty strong. Can't tell. Neither. How strong will you be against Great Red? Not that strong. This is where, well, Valerie says, I see. Will you be at the same level as me? I'm beyond your level. You see here, I had 1 year of training. Mostly in the Quincy dimension, it would have been 1 month in this dimension, but mostly in the Quincy dimension, it was 1 year. So I'm considered to be 18 and not 17. This is where Valerie nodded and says, I see, so you're basically the same age as me. This is where Valerie's actually 18 and not 17. This is where Issei says, wait, what? Wait, you're actually 18? I thought you were 17. Not gonna lie, with your fucking psychotic, crazy self, battle maniac, I thought you were really like a freaking child. This is where Valerie scoffs and just growls at Issei and says, shut up. This is where Issei kind of chuckles and says, but not the point. So, yeah, that's basically my whole bloodline, I think. Are you gonna tell me on your abilities? Oh yeah, let's see. I'll tell you one of my abilities. It's actually not my ability, but thanks to the red-haired dumbass who actually decided to put her power into the evil pieces. I guess that's how it works. I don't know how the evil pieces truly works. But mostly, when, how should I say, Cow? That's his name, right? Cow or Cow? This is where, well, mostly Father says, either way. Okay, well, Cow, since he managed to kind of get rid of the evil pieces from my body, or George or whatever his name was, I don't give a damn of Cow friends or whatever. But when he managed to get rid of the evil pieces and the dragon, or mostly the sacred gift from my body, when those evil pieces were actually getting out of my body, even the demonic energy, some of that demonic energy still stayed back, and that was the destruction magic. The destruction magic, instead of being a devil kind of magic, it turned into a Ryotsu thing after me awakening my Ryotsu, and instead of being called destruction, it was called annihilation. So that's one of the letters that I have. I have 3 A's, so that being one of A's. Yeah, that's where mostly Valerie says, "What's with the fucking alphabet?" That's the type of abilities that mostly we kind of go on about. So there's mostly A, B, C, and other shit like that right now. So what is that one of your abilities? So what is the other ones? This is where Valerie's trying to get some information from Issei, and Issei says, "I'm not telling you. Fuck you." This is where, well, Valerie says, no. Well, wait, Valerie kind of just stopped for a second. This is where Issei says, are you really trying to make me fuck you? This is where, well, Valerie's face becomes red and says, no, I meant to, fuck. I'm just still very lost with your abilities. Shut up. No, I'm not. This is where Issei kind of has a very teasing grin, and for a second, he says, oh, you know, since I already kissed you on accident, I thought you were going to ask for even more stuff. This is where Valerie just throws like a ball of magic, and this is where Issei managed to dodge. Using Almighty, and this is where Issei says, sorry, you missed. This is where Valerie just says, screw you. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, no, well, I mean, yes, thanks. This is where, well, Issei kind of said, we're mostly just a teasing grin, because, well, he already knew what his mostly grandfather did that one time. And yes, he doesn't really mind taking Valerie's first time, because she is kind of cute, in his opinion, even if she's a battle psychotic freak, because, well, he can't really say much because he was beating the shit out of Loki a while ago. And yes, he was also having a crazy look of, well, battle insane maniac, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly with that happening, Valerie just scoffs and says, screw you, go fuck yourself and leave me alone. This is where, well, Issei says, well, sure. Other than that, not really. So, if we're done talking here, I gotta take Loki here because it looks like he's about to die anytime soon. Loki already passes out from blood loss, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei say, other than that, what's it called? Valerie, see you later. I'll talk to you later, but other than that, I'll be going since I gotta be going to, well, mostly going to go do something, like deal with the other alliance. I think my father, well not father, my grandfather should be already in the alliance. But we go into a POV of mostly Yhwach actually appearing in the alliance, and of course Yhwach did explain a lot more about the Quincy's. Mostly it was someone else, but not the point. Mostly Yhwach explains that he's the king of the Quincy's, making him the true kind of like ruler of the Quincy's. Issei is only a recipient because, well, yeah, a recipient of what's it called, the Quincy's, because, well, he is still a prince and he's still young. But yeah, that's why, well, mostly the others like Ajuga and other people kind of realize that mostly Yhwach is quite old. He's quite older because of the Quincy's ability to live longer thanks to the Rialso, but not at the point. This is where, well, mostly everyone would just wind their eyes on how powerful Yhwach is, and yeah, not really trying to fuck with him. Now, Yhwach did notice that Issei did take Finral's head, but not the point. He didn't really care what's it called Issei did away, but yeah. You can only guess that probably Issei met his, well, interesting crush effect, but yeah. This is where, well, Yhwach just kind of goes on with other things, but yeah. But we go into mostly Issei and Valerie. This is where Issei says, other than that, I'll be going. And, I don't know what to say else next. This is what Valerie says. What were you gonna say then? He says, no, I shouldn't say that, because you will get angry at me, quite very angry. Valerie says, Issei? He says, well, I should be going then. This is where Issei spreads out 10 wings behind him, and they're all like a silverish whitish blue color, and they're not like devil wings, but instead of like actual kind of like energy made out of wings, yes, they're basically Quincy wings. And this is where, well, mostly Issei says, other than that, see ya. This is where, well, Issei flies up and goes straight towards, well, the others. This is where, well, mostly Valerie says, Issei. This is where she screams out his name, but yet Issei was gone. She growls in such a very frustration kind of look, and this is where, well, she also has a very blushing look because of what she said and other shit. And this is where, well, both the other girls are kind of just sweat dropping at the whole situation. They were basically just ignored by Issei. Issei didn't see them as any importance, but yeah. This is where, well, one of them says, did he basically just ignore both of us? Well, as if for someone to ask, well, the other girl named Akane. This is where Akane says, yes, he did. I can't believe that's the Red Dragon Emperor, also known as the Tealish Screen Emperor. But not the point. He basically just ignored us. Yes, he told us his race, making him quite powerful. But still, do you think Valerie's gonna be okay? This is where, well, they both look at Valerie, and Valerie just seemed very upset but blushing at the same time, and just looking away and kind of just thinking to herself. And this is where Alviana's trying to calm her down, but pretty much her mind has went into so many thoughts, and some of them were quite dirty, but not the point. But other than that, when Issei gets back to the others, mostly Issei said, so does anyone know how to heal his wounds? This is where, well, mostly Bezel says, I mean, I can burn his wounds to try to seal them up from those holes. What the hell even happened? This is where, well, mostly Quill says, I can chain him up. Yeah, let's just just burn his wounds and chain him up, and then we can bring him there. This is where Jogram says, what about the kind of enemies? This is where Jogram said, oh, just ignore them. They're nothing but not important to us. This is where Jogram nodded, and of course he makes a portal so they can basically go in and just throw what's it called Loki upon, well, Odin. Other than that, Issei noticed, well, Yhwach, and this is where, well, mostly Issei goes up to, well, Yhwach and says, hello there, grandfather. He bows down, and then mostly Jogram and the others just bow down and says, hello there, what's it called, father. Mostly because they do call him the father for all Quincy, but not the point. Or not father, mostly your majesty. This is where, well, Yhwach smiles and says, so, how was your little fun, Issei? Issei says, it was quite interesting beating the shit out of a god. This is where Yhwach says, oh no, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about the other thing. This is where Issei's face becomes a little red and just looks away, while mostly the others are kind of just saying, we managed to complete the mission destroying mostly Loki's and his children. This is where, well, Odin was just shocked to hear that they basically destroyed them. This is where, well, hearing that Yhwach was much stronger than all of them, except for Issei. Probably Issei should be stronger and probably exceeding him in power later on. It's no shocking, well, it's surprising still, but yeah. Other than that, I'm going to end it off here for part 3 of this What If. Other than that, bye. So yeah, I gotta go, but yeah.